Hi, I'm Lily Hills, the author of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Body Love Manual, How to Love the Body You Have as You Create the Body You Want, and the creator of the Mindful Eating Method, the world's most comprehensive online training for overcoming emotional eating. And I'm here today to share with you some techniques for overcoming emotional eating. Right now, we're going through a pandemic that has everyone at a level of stress that has been unprecedented. And one of the ways that we deal with stress is to reach for something outside of ourselves for comfort. And that can be alcohol, that can be drugs, that can be television, that can be working, and that can also be food. So today's technique is going to teach you how to transcend that untamed mind, that monkey mind that's making you feel extra stress, that's making some optional stress seep through, that's impacting your ability to be present and to think clearly and to come up with solutions to some of the challenges you may be facing. So I invite you to think of it in these terms. Every single day you're thinking 60,000 thoughts. 90 to 95% of those thoughts are some variation of a thought that you had yesterday or the day before or the day before, or in patterns of thinking. And studies show that on average, most of us are thinking about 75% of our thoughts in a negative way. So think of that as the untamed mind. The untamed mind gets you to worry about the future. It gets you to feel regrets about the past. It gets you to judge yourself. It gets you to judge other people. It gets you to complain about things without coming up with solutions. It gets you to resist reality. For example, you're in a traffic jam and the mind is fighting it, right? This shouldn't be happening, right? That's all untamed mind. And the challenge with the untamed mind is that those thoughts come upon you automatically. And you start to pay attention to them as though those thoughts are yours, rather than just the repetitive and the familiar thoughts that have been accompanying you most likely since you were a child. So think of it over here. Untamed mind gets you to think about what you don't like and what you don't want and what you fear. And over here, I want you to think of it as the tamed mind. The tamed mind is like having a wise inner professor and cheerleader in your head. So the tamed mind gets you to think about what you want. It gets you to think about solutions to problems. It's a very positive and supportive voice that says, of course you're going to be able to move through this. And there's always an open door. When one door shuts, another door opens. This is the voice of reason, kindness, wisdom, and love. So you can see that when you're in the tamed mind, connected to your heart, you're going to feel some version of good. And when you feel good, you become more rational. You spot different opportunities that when you're over here and you're stressed or depressed, that you might not be able to see. So that is the value of staying over here, staying connected to the most intelligent and loving part of who you are. And staying connected to this voice can be tricky because this voice is, again, the pattern, right? It's been there. It was installed from your very earliest days. It was dependent on what was the mindset of your mother when you were growing up. What was the mindset of your father? How did you inherit some of their mindsets, some of their patterns, right? It also can be influenced by your siblings or by an individual that played a big role in your life, or even someone that you ran across that did something unkind to you randomly when you were a child. Patterns of fear get installed at our earliest days, in our earliest times. When you think of it, like when you were a little tiny baby, there was no defense mechanism against people sharing ideas with you and you taking them on. And if you think of it from the perspective of what was installed then, you are still being influenced by everything you read, everything you hear, everything that you see. And in today's media culture, we have got an even higher level of intensity surrounding fears. So our culture and what you're seeing in the news and what you're seeing in the things that you're reading and the television programs you're watching, that's as influential as a third parent. So that's part of the reason why it's so vital during these days when the untamed mind is getting stimulated by fears. It's very important to minimize your exposure to those fears and to talk about what you do want, to talk about what your options are. to explore new opportunities that might open up as a result of this crazy time. Because the larger truth is that the systems as they were not working for the overwhelming majority of people. So this is like a big reset, and it's coming at a huge expense to many Americans. And so the very best thing that we can do to contribute to a different way of being is, again, to become connected to our wise mind, to become the best versions of ourselves, and to contribute in any way we can to a more peaceful and functional planet. So one of the most powerful ways to move from the untamed mind to the tamed mind is through meditation. Now think of it this way. Once this mind gets going, because it's a pattern and because it's ingrained, it's hard to slow down or stop it. So meditation is a technique that gets you to connect with the moment. It's a training in not worrying about the future or feeling regret about the past, but being in the moment. Your power to make decisions and to find new opportunities lies in your ability to stay connected to the now, right? Because the past is nothing more than a memory, and the future is a dream, right? And when you're thinking positively about the future, then that's a connection to a joyful state, which makes you relax, which makes you less likely to eat compulsively, which makes you less likely to feel stress and overwhelm and depression. So meditation is one of the most powerful things you can do to train your mind to stay in the now. And I don't know anybody that's living right now with more joy and less stress that isn't in a regular meditation practice. So that's step one. That is key number one to transcending the untamed mind. Key number two is going to be to ask yourself the question, when the mind gets going and it starts spewing out its negative thoughts, the key is to pull out the thought that's creating the most stress. So let's say the stress is, I'm never going to get out of this situation. This is a nightmare that I'm never going to get out of. Now that thought is going to create stress. It's going to start dumping cortisol into your bloodstream and make things much worse. So one of the tools you can use is to ask yourself the question, do I want to think this thought? And if the answer to that is no, then you know it's not your thought. Then you know it's the old patterns, the old trainings, the old thoughts. So even answering that question is a pattern interruption. It stops you from just going down that path of feeling stress and using something external to make yourself feel better. So when you ask yourself the question, what can I do right now that's going to make me feel better, that doesn't revolve around an old pattern of compulsive eating or using something externally, you'll find options. Like, for example, if you go outside in Mother Nature in the middle of a highly stressful moment and you start to breathe deeply, what you're going to find is there is medicine in Mother Nature. This is not just my experience. This is based on the eco studies that show that the people that spend more time in Mother Nature are happier, are healthier, are more relaxed, are more peaceful. So go outside in Mother Nature. The eco studies show, again, you are so much more likely to be joyful if you are connected to the energy of the earth. And when you think about it, you can put an acorn in the ground and it can grow into a tree. So there's energy in the earth that we are not taking advantage of. In fact, most of our immune systems are compromised because we're always a shoe away from Mother Nature, right? We're almost a shoe away from this force of positivity that can help us feel happier and healthier and less stressed and less depressed. So those are two of the tools that you can use. The third tool you can use to change your state of mind is gratitude. And again, all the studies show the people that are grateful for what they have are twice as likely to be happy as those that have the most. So you've got a tool that you can use that will connect you with a happier state of being where you're more rational and less stressed and of greater benefit to everyone around you. So when the mind says, this is awful and everything about this is terrible, you find one thing to be grateful for. I'm grateful that I am not sick today. I'm grateful that those around me are not sick today. I'm grateful that there is always an open door. And when I'm calm and centered, I can find that open door. I'm grateful that I've got a roof over my head today. I'm grateful that I have enough today. Think of enough as a feast. These tools sound very simple. They're unbelievably profound. They're the tools that allowed me to overcome a 13-year eating disorder. They helped me to find a life that is so precious and wonderful that I wake up every day feeling grateful. First thoughts are grateful thoughts. And they've allowed me to release the excess weight I was carrying that I knew wasn't natural for my body. And that feels good as well. But what feels even better than that is the fact that I'm free of the thoughts that made me so stressed and so worried that I'd reach for food for comfort. So I hope this has been helpful to you. The goal of this 10-minute training is to support you in navigating this challenging time with more grace and ease. If you'd like more information or to find out more about the mindful eating method, the link will be below. And I wish you tremendous peace and ease during this time. Know that we will move beyond it. Know that we have a power within us, humanity, as one big family, has a power to transcend any social challenge we face. So wishing you all the best and every imaginable joy.